All right, it looks like we've got it recording. So anyways, welcome and congratulations for an awesome month, guys. To start off, because I know that we have a few newbies that are joining us, I'm not sure if everybody is on here yet tonight, but you know, earlier into, or mid-month, last month, we invited Drew and Mimi Johnson on. And then we've recently added Spencer and Lauren to the call and to our thread. So welcome, welcome, welcome. For you folks that are new, and for some folks that maybe have joined us up until this point, I kind of want to do a quick recap of the purpose, mission, and that kind of thing of what we're doing, what we're focusing on here. Basically, this group is a collaborative group. This is, I kind of look at it as I'm facilitating this group, but I'm not necessarily the end-all be-all. I like to look at this as definitely a collaborative group where we share best practices, we learn from one another, we talk about what's really working, but at the same time as maybe well, as situations may arise, or you know, concerns or questions come up from the field, this is the place where we can bubble it up. It's certainly not a complaint session, but more so if, for instance, when we stumble across something like Vyterm was, you know, or Vyslum being, you know, not shipping out at the time, and kind of like being on back order, or at least in that way we are prepared, since we're focused with our customers and we're having more interaction probably than some with customers, we can arm each other knowing what's going on out there in the field. So as issues or circumstances arise, we can share and help guide each other through that. Obviously, guys, in here we are going to give, there is a plan. I'll give you some guidance, and right now we're kind of focusing on a strategic play on how to grow yourself and your business. The concept that we started with is if you were at 1,000, well, excuse me, if we started at ground zero, right? The first month, if this is a 90-day plan, a series of 3 months, how to take yourself from 0 to 1,000 the first month, 2,000 the second month, and on the third month, finally giving you that last 5,000 in to have accumulated at least 2,500 PQV. The reason that we're focusing on PQV in this particular call is that we don't want anybody just going out and focusing on one particular product or specific things that give us the most PBV. We want to make sure that, you know, every customer gets what they're looking for, and that we're giving them what they're desiring. And so this is the place that we're not focusing on just PBV. We will talk about that because obviously, as your focus may be more so on how to impact your finances, we're getting you those solutions as well. So that's just a quick recap. But what I wanted to do is I want to kind of illustrate this just real quick for you guys on exactly what this plan is intended to do, because we're going to celebrate some major victories on this call tonight too, because some of you guys have far surpassed these numbers already. But in addition to this, what this plan can do, if you're already identifying 3 people, if you have 3 promoters already in your existing team that are going to plug in and run the same play with you through this series of calls, how you can not only get yourself to AD, but over a 6-month period of time and duplicating this, you guys can get to a very solid ND position. Now, many of you guys may have already, you know, surpassed that, but think more so of learning this and living it right now, pretending you're at ground zero and living through this, and then what you can teach and duplicate the same exact play for those that are focused on customer, you know, acquisition. Not to say that through this process that we're not going to talk to promoters, because of course we can do that, but this is definitely for those folks that just, you know, love the customers, and this is where your happy place is. So let me illustrate this real quick.
Happy place.
What's that?
I said your happy place.
So I do apologize if you guys can't see very well, or if it's not. Here, let me try this. We'll do my best, okay? Maybe it's going to be a big butt shot. Forgive me for now. Okay, so obviously, first 30 days, right? We're going from day 1 to day 30. Our goal was 1,000 personal, right? From 30 to 60 days, we're going to capture another 1,000. 60 to 90. Personally, we're going to go ahead and finish that out at 2,500, right? That's it. Okay. So that would be us here, 2,500. Yay, we've done it. But what I'm challenging you to do as well, are you able to see that? Is that even dark enough? You guys can imagine. I'm hoping you can get this, if you're drawing it out, it might make more sense with you on your own paper as you write it out, right? So you've already done through this play, but you've also identified 3 people in your organization to do that with you, right? And doing that, this is now actually a solid AD, right? But it's not just, and because right here, this here totals 10,000 in volume, right? And AD, we didn't need that. How much do we need for AD?
6.
Perfect. So rolling in with an additional 4,000 is not a bad deal. In the event that we have somebody fall off or whatever, we've got extra volume rolling in, right? This is all compounded growth. Now, if I said, if we're going to duplicate this at the same rate, we've identified 3 people. Let's say now we're going into rolling this into maybe a 6-month play, or they're doing it exactly with you. So if they don't do this with you at right now, but you identify these 3 people, give yourself another 90-day run, and look what can happen. So we've got another 10, another 10, another 10. This here gives you a 30,000, right? Plus your own that you're holding steady at 2,500. You're at 32,500. ND is how much?
25.
Exactly. So not a bad deal there. You're still got an extra volume sitting there just for fallout. The idea is that this could be compounding growth each month, right? So what's nice, instead of going out and just looking for, getting an EPS, we're at $4.99 and having to replace that, or at 1,000 and having to replace that. This is solid growth that you're doing through customers each month, because they're going on, you're hoping that we can at least get them into at least 90 days of participating with us, right? If not longer, because our goal is through this group, we're going to talk about how to talk to new customers and get them on board, how to have them fall in love with us and retain our customers, maybe forever, or through the process. And what we're going to talk about this month specifically is how to take the happy customers that we're getting wins and not only helping them get 3 for free to get their wins, but then having the proper conversation towards the end of this month to help us potentially find and identify new promoters through our own customer base. That's my goal for you guys, or want to help you guys accomplish through this month is, like I said, going into, I have to see that here, but how to go into this month and look at how we can grow our promoter base as well. So in the first month, the first 30 days, what we talked about, like I said, getting ourselves that first 1,000 PQB. We talked about there's a number of ways of doing it. The recommendation was to go ahead and go back to the basics. Let's go ahead, host 2 parties, right? And the reason I said 2 parties is, again, for just pure numbers. If you look at 1,000, divide that out to 2, that's $500 per party, okay? Right now, with our focus on premier customers, which is $300, that makes it even that much simpler, because now you're looking at maybe 4 customers, not 5, not 8, not 12. The whole model and what I'm thinking of is looking at it at roughly 10 customers. 10 is what we're looking at. Now, truly, we're going to get customers at all walks of life. We might have somebody that just falls in love with our NutriBars and says, give me peanut butter jelly all day long. That's all they want. And maybe they're only going to commit to 1 box a month. That's fine. That's still a customer. We love them. We want them there. But we may find people that are all gung-ho and want to get as much free stuff as they possibly can. And they'll open up their markets to us and let us help them with that. So in month 2, now that we have already accomplished our 1,000 PQB personally, what we're looking to do is grow that again. So again, this recommendation, and again, this is just recommendation, but the thought and the plan in this is we should host another 2 parties. At this point, because you do have customers that have come on board, you can obviously build through them. I personally would say, hey, if you have it in you, because I know a lot of you guys on the line have been here for a while, but we're always growing our list. If you can, have the wherewithal to go ahead and host another 2 parties this month, personally, do that. But here's the best thing. Even if you do that and you do it early enough in the month, knowing that you need another 1,000, and again, if we do the math, 500. If we fall short, we already know early enough in the month that we can make that up throughout the month and not have to, we're not putting a time limit or a pressure cooker on ourselves to get there. And the other thing is, like I said, if we look at our customers that we've already got on board, there's the birthday girl, and happy birthday, Jan. And we go through the customers that we already have on board and say, hey, let us, maybe help you get a bigger discount or a deeper discount, and let's throw a VIP rewards party. Or you start having those one-on-one conversations where maybe they're even just ready to refer you some people. That's how we can add on additional customers this month. But that would be our focus, again, is to grow ourselves by 1,000, because like I said, next month we're going to come into our final 500. But what I'm curious to do, or to know right now, is to really kind of dive in and find out, well, first, let's back up. We got to do some recognition real quick. That's the other thing about this call for those newbies, is that we're going to recognize each other and, just encourage each other all the time, because this is definitely a place of growth and of empowerment and of an uplifting, caring environment. So we are very, very, very proud of all these people that went out there and crushed it last month. Guys, I gotta tell you, for the folks that put out their goals, these are the ones that I've tracked. Now, some of you guys may have not wanted to share your own personal goal or what you wanted to accomplish, and that's perfectly okay, because it's okay. This is just like I said, it's not mandatory. This is something that's completely optional. And I know you guys have teams that you're plugging into as well. So, you may have gone ahead and shared those numbers with your upline, and that you felt like, hey, I'm doing enough reporting. I didn't want to submit to you as well. So that's perfectly fine. So real quick, I want to run through these numbers just to kind of let you know where we finished, what everybody's, came in at. For those of you that shared, we had one person that made it into our 5,000 club, Christy, at $5,099. Woohoo! Huge congratulations. We know
That's awesome.
Looking at your PBV, you were in that 30% mark as well. You're going to love that check. Leslie in our $4,000 club, she was at $4,699. Another 30% commission earned there. Her PBV was up over the 2,500 or 2,501. So she definitely made it into there as well. Our 3,000 club. Oh my goodness, this was great because I got to see Matt Kalin came in at $3,429, and Shayna and Mike Bowen. I'm telling you what, those two are crushing it out there with $3,255. I was super excited to see that. Shane, just so you guys know, she represents St. Augustine here as Mrs. St. Augustine, Florida. And today she was supposed to be featured on the news, a program called Chat. Unfortunately, we had a very bizarre event that happened in Green Cove Springs. There was a shooting and took over the news all day. So her time slot got changed, but she's actually going to be featured on May 11th, and now she's got 2 slots. And on there, what she's talking about is all about Project 10 and raising awareness here in the community. So super excited about that, and one of our VI champs. So awesome, awesome, awesome. In our 2,500 club, I'm telling you, we had 4 people that came in with 2,500: Samantha, Carol, Ron Hankey, and Vivian. I'm telling you what, you guys, everything from 2,900 with Ron to 2,504 with Samantha. I'm telling you, we're all over the board with that. Super excited for you guys. Congratulations. In our 2,000 club, we had 4 people in 2,000, which is amazing. Galen and Becky, John and Christy Fletcher, and BJ, crushing it. 1,500 club, we had 6 participants there. Jeannie, Drew and Mimi, Carol Cheatham, Sherry, Serinda, and Nicole. You guys, absolutely, I'm just, again, huge congratulations. And 1,000 club, we had 2 more there. We had Carrie and Karen closing it out. And then for the last numbers that were submitted for tracking, we had 3 other people that closed out very, very close to 1,000. They were right on the cusp of it. So awesome job, guys. Huge congratulations to all of you. So with that, I want to actually open up the line because I'm curious to know from everybody, but also from Christy and Leslie and Mike and Shane and Matt, if you guys are on the line there, since you guys were our top leaders out there, share with us maybe one of the biggest takeaways that you guys had over the last month. What was your biggest maybe something new that you learned that you were actually implementing, or your biggest aha of last month? What was it?
Hey, I'll go ahead and go. Hopefully my dog doesn't bark, so fair warning. A couple things for me. I remember on one of the calls, it was a couple weeks ago, I had said that, I was having a hard time getting people to host parties. And I think it was you, Levon, that said, well, how are you signing customers up? And not that doing it at one-on-ones or over the phone, not that that's a bad thing. Obviously it's working, but it just really got me thinking that you were right. If they're not in that party environment, it's going to be harder for them, I think, to say, hey, yeah, I'll have some people over to my house to share this, like they're not even sure what that is. So I just started with, one of my best friends she's a checked out promoter, but she's having a challenge party for me, in 2 weeks. So I'm going to be able to get into her network. She moved into a new house. So just, not being scared to reach out to people that are not even in Vi or as customers to kind of, grow my network that way. But another thing for me that, has really worked this month is just being really honest with people. And this advice actually came from Raven Nicholson on our lid call with Brandon. She said that when she signs people up, she tells them there's 3 basically like staples that you must have. It's shake, cereal, and Vi Trim, or Vi Slim, excuse me. And so that's kind of like the foundation. You have to have these things.
Okay.
And then from there we can add on whatever you think sounds good or whatever you liked. And honestly, I use that every single time that I talk to someone. And so if you think about it, basically that's a fuel kit with a Vi Slim add-on. You're at $200 right there already. And, from there, then they just ask, well, what do you like? What did you use? And you're just honest with them and say, well, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. Cause there's stuff that I don't like. And I share that with them. And, I think they just realize that you really are here to help and not just to make a sale. And that's how I've, that turned into so many custom kits, over $300. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, awesome. No, I love it. And thank you for sharing, something that's actually working out there, that you learned from somebody else, because I love that. It's, the 3 staples. I like that, and keeping it real.
Can I piggyback on that?
Yes.
Because I did the same thing, but I also made sure they realized that we had a 90-day money-back guarantee too. So I made sure, hey, if you really don't like this stuff, give me 90 days, but also you can get your money back. So I did the same thing because I've heard Raven say this in the 100-pound club. You always have to have a staple of your favorite products. And that's what I did. I said Vi Slim, Vi Trim are the golden. If you have any weight loss goals, you have to have those too. And so every single customer that we brought in had those, plus the shake and all that stuff. So just to piggyback on her.
Perfect. Anyone else that wanted to share?
Okay, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but I have a question. Most of my promoters for this, or customers for this last month and the month before, only want to do 1 month. And it's been hard. I don't know if it's just this time of year, which everybody has. Their kids, everybody I seem to be around has kids. I don't have them at home anymore. So for me, I'm pretty much open every day. But we've had 3 parties scheduled and 1 person came out of 3 parties. So trying to figure out, and I would love the feedback on this, trying to figure out how, number 1, to get more people to actually show up at the parties. People commit. And you can't, you can't do things when, people have funerals or something like that. You just can't do anything with that. But, and I do follow up with them. But most of my follow-up seems to be one-on-one. So I'd like to kind of know how, I guess, number 1, how you actually get people to come to a real party again, and then get them on the 90-day challenge and get them to commit to something. Like the guy signed up today on a custom kit for a shape kit. But he doesn't want to be on Facebook. He doesn't want to take pictures. He doesn't want to do anything. And I said, it's 90 days. And he goes, okay. So any help would be great.
Well, before I respond, I'm gonna let everybody else here have a shot.
I'll chime in. Some people are just embarrassed and don't want to be a part of a group. So if you don't have children at home and you have the flexibility to do a one-on-one, then go to them. That would be a suggestion. Two, if they don't want to commit to the 90 days, I think you just have to find a tactful but polite way of saying, if your goal is to lose weight, you didn't put it on in 30 days. It's not going to come off in 30 days. I mean, that's just being honest, but you have to be tactful about it. And then three, if you're inviting people and they're committing and not showing up, then you just have to look at it as if they're just not ready and move on to your list of 100 names.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sherry.
To piggyback on that, what I would say, Jeannie, is kind of what Sherry was just saying. That whole training from Nick that we're learning in Run to AD about, just it's safety in numbers. So my difference this month has been filling the funnel overly full, much fuller. And so that way, if I invite 10 people to a party, maybe 3 will show up, and I'll be tickled by that. Where before I may have had invited 3 solids and 1 or 0 came. So, I mean, but that it's just more challenging. But that just makes me feel better because it seems like you get better results by just challenging more people.
Thanks, Carol.
And what you'll see too is it just takes, usually it's a domino effect. You get one person at a party, then that does something that starts to say, hey, I'm going all in. And then you start seeing everybody else that kind of follows. But you got to make sure that you have that energy there. So in order to have that, you have to have some numbers there. Because again, if you only have 1 or 2 people show, you have a 50-50 shot then, really.
So I need Carol and Sherry at my parties to be ringers.
We'll zoom in, baby. We'll zoom
Isn't
in.
that right? That's when you zoom us in.
Exactly. And it does not hurt to do that, certainly. I mean, bring in other stories, other faces, other voices. Don't close your own parties. That's why you have uplines. That's why you have a support group here. So definitely use that. But then what Ron said earlier is huge. Guys, remember that we do have a money back guarantee. Also take advantage of the promo that's going on right now. And if they want to get their 4th month with $200, basically is what it is. They got to commit. And you're just trying to help them through that. And then it goes right back with, what everybody's saying here. Hey, this is a 90-day program and it didn't happen overnight. So you can't expect the weight to come off that quickly either.
Right.
But
Can I share something?
Absolutely.
Something that I did, Jeannie, this month is that Vince showed me a mass texting app. And what I did is I actually just did 2 sentences. I said, hey, so-and-so, because you kind of have to put it individually rather than a group text message. But this app, basically, your group messaging has to be off for it to work. So then if they respond, it's like they got their own text to you. So what I did is my messages was like, hey, I'm having a tasting party on this day at this time. Can you come for 30 minutes so I can have your feedback? And just left it at that. And so with that short, they're like, hey, sure. If they said sure, yes, whatever, send them the flyer with your address or whatever. But just keep it very simple. And then I didn't really go into, people had questions for me. I didn't answer them. I just said, come, enjoy the products. I want to have your feedback. And as less awkward as this was, that party, I had 3 people sign up, over $300 kits. Yeah, 2 of them had to wait the next day, but I just kept it very, very simple. And then I did the same thing the next party. I just kept it, okay, since you couldn't come, I'm having another one. Which one works for you? So I just kept on sending that same text the next the next week. And I had 2 more show up the next week. So just be consistent until they say, no, stop texting me.
Persistent. There you go. Persistent.
Thanks, Ron.
Hey, can I add one more thing too? Ron, I love that. I'm going to actually try that. So thank you. I was just going to add on to what Sherry said too. That's really part of the conversation I have with every customer as well, or prospect, is I'm just real with them. Like she said, you have to find a tactful way. And I think it depends on who you're talking to and the relationship you have with them. But I I am definitely real with people. If somebody comes and, I'm talking to them, and depending on how long I've been working on them, so to speak, if they're telling me they want to lose 65 pounds, but right away they're like, I don't want to do a monthly thing. Like, I just want to do this for 30 days. I flat out say to them, look, you have to understand, this is not about me. This is about you. I love that you're trusting me with your health and your weight loss goals. But you have to understand, this is not going to be a 30-day fix. This isn't magic. Like, you're changing the way that you're eating and your life. And I've said to a few people flat out, if you're not willing to go past 30 days, don't waste your money. Because, I mean, that's really what they're going to do. They're going to buy a $200 kit. They're going to do it maybe, pardon my mouth, half-ass for 30 days, and then they're going to be gone. It's happened a lot of times. And I actually get so much better response, and I've actually seen my retention go up a little bit since I've, said that to people, because I think they realize that I am here to help them, not just to make money off of them.
Right.
So, I mean, again, like Sherry said, you have to find a way to say it. And I think it definitely is going to be a different conversation and tone depending on the relationship you have with the people. But I'm just real with people. If they're wanting to lose any amount of weight, more than 10 pounds, it's going to take more than 30 days. It just is. So, you can keep that in mind.
Thanks, Christy.
Absolutely. Okay, guys. I would love to dive into this some more as far as other best practices or biggest takeaways from last month. But we are starting to run short on time. We got about 3 minutes left into the call time, because, as you guys know, I certainly don't like to keep anybody longer than 30 minutes. But areas of focus for this month, as we kind of get going, obviously, for the new folks, your homework for me is so that I can get to know you a little bit better. If you can please send me a quick little bio on yourself, or it can be a quick little voice note, or preferably a video on the WhatsApp thread, just to me personally. So go to WhatsApp and then go find me, and then send me a quick little video telling me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with Vi, why, what your goals are, what you want to see it to accomplish here, and anything else that you would love to share with me, because as we kind of get to know one another, it helps me to certainly know really why you're here and what's grabbed your heart. And then guys, as far as areas of focus for this month as a group, and what would help is, again, if we establish what goals are, what you guys are trying to achieve this month. So if you want to put that in the thread, you can certainly do that. For anybody that just wants to message me personally, you guys know how to get a hold of me on that. Like I said, you can just go to just me personally on WhatsApp, or if you prefer to email me, that is Lavon, Lavon .Craig, Craig @Yahoo. You can certainly send it that way. But areas of focus, obviously, you guys are not new at this, but filling your calendars, going ahead and getting your dates, whether it's VIP rewards parties, whether it's challenge parties, one-on-ones, whatever. How are you going to present to find those new folks that we're bringing on board? And then start diving in and looking to see who you already were working with last month on your customers that have maybe have two customers of theirs or of their own already, or they're one more away, or have one, but maybe two more away from getting to free. Or how can you go ahead and start giving them the bigger discount and working with them to get them to free this month? That would be an area of focus. And then, like I said, through that, we'll find this a new 1,000 so that you can compound over last month. Again, look into your groups and find out if there's anybody else that you feel is fitting for working with us on this call. And let's get them to the group and add them in, because ideally it would be creating a new AD position, so to speak, through yourself through this month. And like I said, this is knowing that everybody already has an existing customer base, an existing promoter base, and volume already there. This is in addition to what you already have going on. So this can kind of just sweeten the pot for you. And as I showed you guys, there is, obviously potential there to get a solid ND position out of this within a 6-month play by having this duplicated 3 times in your organization. So with that, that's where we're focusing now. I will tell you guys a heads up. Start thinking about the questions you would ask for the top promoter in ViSalus today on what he and his wife are doing to upgrade their customers to promoters. Like, what exactly are the conversations? What questions would you be looking to hear and want answers to? Because I'm going to be working on getting Larry Hilty on our call as a guest speaker so that we can talk to him and Rachel specifically and hear from them directly, so we can pick their brain a little bit, because as you guys know, it's not my show. I love having other people on here to share their wisdom and help us figure out exactly how to crush this thing and make it as effective as possible. So with that, I'm going to leave it open to you guys because I can hang on the line for a little while. Everybody's good and quiet in my house tonight and asleep. So if you guys need a little longer. But other than that, you guys have a great evening, and thank you. I'm going to do the recording at this point, though.